Hello and welcome to the Hypno Healing Experience channel. My name is Jenna. I'm a certified hypnotist, a past life regressionist, and a crystal Reiki master. And I wanted to come on here today to introduce myself to you, to share a little bit of my backstory and how I got into all of this healing work. And I also hope to help somebody else perhaps going through something similar in their life experience. So we'll jump right into it and we'll start from the beginning. I was raised in a single family home, so my mom raised myself and my brother. And we grew up in an amazing family, but of course being a single parent comes with its own set of struggles. And so when my mom and dad had first gotten divorced, I was about 3 years old, and my mom found the Jehovah's Witness organization. And it was supposed to be the end-all, be-all answer for everything. It definitely is not. I will say it like that. So I grew up pretty much on the outskirts of the religion because there's a lot of rules and regulations, and it was hard for my mom as a single parent bringing 2 kids to the Kingdom Hall 3 times a week. And the Kingdom Hall is what they refer to as church. So 3 times a week, 2 weekdays at night, and then Sunday. And so she was by herself, with these 2 kids, hoping for help, and she didn't always get it from them. And she also struggled with smoking cigarettes, which was not allowed. So she was never able to get baptized, which would qualify her as, I guess, a real Jehovah's Witness, a baptized Jehovah's Witness, which comes with a whole other set of rules and regulations. So that's why I consider myself to have grown up on the outskirts of it, because I was not fully in it since my mom was not baptized. We grew up going to the meetings, which is the church services, going and stopping. So although we were not regular and we didn't really grow up in the culture of the religion, we did, however, grow up with all of the beliefs. And so I carried all of the beliefs of the Jehovah's Witness organization, which are very fear-based, as most religions are, and fear of dying at Armageddon. So now on the outside looking in, I realized there's really no other way to put it. This is a cult. You're not able to leave the organization once you've been baptized without maintaining your reputation. You're deemed mentally ill if you leave this organization. So I'll back up just a little bit. As I said, my mom raised myself and my brother. It wasn't easy, but we got through it, and we learned a lot from it, and we grew a lot from it, and now we're very close, thank God. But I moved out of the house at a very early age. I was 19 when I got my own apartment, when I left my mom's house, and I struggled as well financially. I ended up having my daughter, who is now 8 years old. So I had her when I was 24, and I split from her father very early in her life. She was about 4 months old, and it was very unexpected, sudden, and traumatic for me. So at that time that I had split from her father, and here I am, 24 years old, basically a kid myself, having a 4-month-old that I now need to take care of on my own. And I was struggling very bad emotionally, I'll put it that way. If any of you have been through that or are single parents yourselves, you understand the depth of that. So what did I turn to? At that age, going through all of that, I turned to the Jehovah's Witness religion. So I went from being on the outskirts my entire life, living in fear that I'm going to be destroyed by God at Armageddon. I'm going to die at Armageddon. I became a Jehovah's Witness. I got baptized. I was knocking on doors. I was doing the whole nine and loving it and enjoying it for a short while. But what you don't see when you're not one of them, you only see the smiles. You see them come to your door with good news, happy, pleasant. And what you don't know is oftentimes, at least from my experience, oftentimes that is a facade. And it's a way of getting you in. Wow, look how happy they are. They must have something, right? And don't get me wrong, it was not all negative at all. I made some great friends, one of them who I really miss more than anything. And I had a lot of fun. I went to parties, karaoke parties, went to New York City, hung out. I had a great time. And it was fun because they did like theme parties and it was a good time. They definitely, the young people, I feel, tried to make up for the fact that we couldn't do anything else that regular people do. So I had fun in many, many, many circumstances within that organization. But when you are a single parent and you have a young child, as I did when I got baptized, I sunk into a deep depression. I would be sitting there looking around me and I stood out. And although there were many that were very warm and welcoming and loving and accepting of me, I knew that I didn't fully fit in. I was a single mother with an infant and then a toddler and then a little kid who didn't want to sit down and be quiet and listen to the brother on the stage. She wanted to be a kid. And it made me feel ashamed. What am I doing wrong? Why can't my kid sit still? Why can't she be quiet and listen like the other little Jehovah's Witnesses? And am I going to be alone for the rest of my life? Most Jehovah's Witnesses that I've seen, that I've known, although more recently I feel that many of them do have children, but growing up, going to their Kingdom Hall, I heard a lot of people, a lot of couples say that they did not want to have kids in this system of things. So it was very difficult, and I'll share one specific instance where one of my Bible study teachers, I was speaking with her, and I was kind of pouring out my heart to her and telling her how lonely I am, how hard this is, and I'm afraid I'm never going to be able to find a man within this organization that's going to want me since I have a kid, which is awful, an awful feeling to feel that your kid is ever going to be in the way of anything. And her response to me was, well, it's going to be very difficult to find someone who wants kids. So in that moment, this was right before I had gotten baptized, but in that moment, I really was just at a loss. Like, okay, I guess it's either Jehovah, whom they call God, God, whom they call Jehovah. It's either him or me and my desires and my hopes and my dreams and my future goals. And at that time, I felt that there was no other way but to choose Jehovah, his organization, the path to everlasting life, the only path, the only option. And my mindset at that time was, thank you, thank you, thank you for waiting to bring upon Armageddon so that I have time to slip in the door. And I'm going to gain everlasting life for me and for my daughter, and it's going to be wonderful. Well, once you go through that door, it kind of slams behind you. And I did feel a lot of shame, a lot of depression, a lot of guilt. I felt that I was not doing enough. I was not good enough. I was not spiritual enough. I was not enough. And the religion made it very apparent to me that everything I was doing was not enough. And so you can imagine the feelings that comes from that and what it does to the physical body. I put on a lot of weight when I was in that religion. I was in there about 5 years, like from baptism until I left. And now it's about 5 years since I left. So I have to say, I needed to go through it in order to get through to the other side. I needed to become a full-blown, indoctrinated Jehovah's Witness in order to see the light on the other side. Because if I didn't go through it, I would still, I'm pretty sure I would still be living in that fear that Armageddon's going to come and I'm not going to make it because I know the truth and I'm not doing it. So unfortunately, I lost my whole support system. I lost my friends. That is the unfortunate part. And I miss them dearly, and I wish so badly that I could get through to them and make them understand. But I also know that until they're ready to hear the truth, they're not going to accept it. You can tell them blue is blue, white is white, red is red. They will have an excuse for every single thing, no matter what proof you show them. And I was there. So I had to let it go, and I had to just send them my love, and hopefully I planted a seed somewhere along the lines that they can gain their freedom, because this organization takes over your entire life. It's your entire belief system. It affects every aspect of your life if you're really practicing it, and I was fully enveloped in this religion, and I didn't care who knew. I didn't care, what it made me look like. I knew that this was the truth, and that's it. And so my aim is not to, pull anyone out of that organization, but if they're looking to leave that organization and they're scared, or they don't know where to go, I want to be available to that person to hand them their life raft, because YouTube really helped me heal tremendously. When I first left, I spent hours and hours listening to other people that left, listening to their stories, feeling some sort of connection, because as much as your family can support you, if you're fortunate enough to have your family, like my family they had no concept of what I was in, except that I couldn't celebrate holidays. But my family are not Jehovah's Witnesses, so thankfully I had them when I left. Although there had been a lot of distance between us, because the organization tends to do that, pull you away from those that are not part of their religion. But my family didn't understand fully what I had been through, what I was going through, the shame, the guilt, the repression, the everything. I became a different person, and I became judgmental for the first time in my life. When I was fully enveloped in that organization, I was so judgmental. Everything that they preach is be careful of your association, be careful of this, be careful of that. So it's scary. You are constantly looking over your shoulder. Is my friend within the organization not good association? It's all judgment based, fear-based, shame-based. And I realize that now. So YouTube was my outlet. It was my therapy. It was my first kind of step towards healing. And I felt that there were other people that understood what I was going through. And so I so appreciate all of the different channels out there. Kim and Mikey especially, amazing. I emailed you, if you ever happen to come across this video, I emailed Kim. They do an XJW channel, an Jehovah's Witness channel, and I emailed her, and I'll never forget, in the subject line I wrote, "Am I getting disfellowshipped?" And she wrote back to me so quickly, and she was so warm and so loving, and she made me feel safe. And and I never even spoke to her again after that, but I truly love her for giving me permission to not show up to the judicial hearing that I was warmly invited to. Basically, they called together a committee after I had left the organization, and they came to my door one day and saw that I had Christmas decorations outside of my house, and so I was an apostate. And so they came back with a letter inviting me to a judicial hearing where they pulled together a committee of 3 men, 3 elders in their organization, and then they, I guess, discuss my case and see if I am repentant enough to be welcomed back, which at that point I hadn't been to the Kingdom Hall in months. But I guess they have to go through with certain procedures. And so they ended up disfellowshipping me, which is shunning. And they make an announcement from the stage. Jenna is no longer one of us. And so, there's a lot of whispers and, oh my gosh, what did she do? And whatever. But I thank them for their channel, because when I emailed her, she reached right back out to me and shared a little bit of her story and said, you don't need to go to this meeting. And I felt so empowered by that. Like, I'm not going. And they came back twice after that. And I wouldn't let them in the house even. They came back on Christmas Eve, I remember. And I was on my way out to go to my uncle's house. And on Christmas Eve, they showed up, and I was dressed up in, Christmas attire, not welcoming them, not even opening the door for them, just speaking to them through the screen. And I'll never forget the brother who I knew. Well, we just want to talk. Well, we just want to invite you to a meeting. And I said, no, I will not be going to a meeting. I am not a part of your organization. Well, can we leave you this letter? No, thank you. You cannot leave me this letter. And I know that I would not have had that confidence, that bravery, had it not been for Kim from the Kim and Mikey channel. So if for any reason you ever come across this video, thank you. Honestly, thank you. So moving forward after that organization, when I first left, I kept hearing this voice in my head to watch The Secret, watch The Secret. And I had tried many times in my life to watch this movie, The Secret. And every time I tried watching it, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but in the beginning, it's very dramatic and suspenseful. And it's like, oh, this secret has been locked away for centuries. And then you see the tomb close and slam. And it was scary to me. My background was teaching me that this stuff is demonic. This is not good. And I don't know, I kept thinking, watch The Secret, watch The Secret. And so I watched The Secret, the whole thing. And once you get through that opening couple minutes, then it's just, kind of people talking to you and sharing amazing, incredible information. But for whatever reason, it came back into my life. And after seeing that movie, it was extremely eye-opening for me. I started reflecting on everything that had happened throughout my life. Wow, maybe I attracted that to myself. Maybe I made myself sick at this point. Maybe I attracted that blessing into my life. Holy cow, everything is spinning upside down. I am going through my own Armageddon. Up is not up, down is not down. Holy moly. It opened up a lot for me, and it confirmed a lot for me. And it opened the door for me to see that there is so much more out there than fear, than guilt, than shame, than a religion, than having to obey other people's rules, men's rules. That I am good enough, that I'm able to learn and explore, and most importantly, look within myself. Not in a book, not in a text, not in a sermon, in a man, in a woman. Look within myself. And that is the biggest takeaway for me from that movie, because it really sent me down the rabbit hole in a good way. And I ended up finding Reiki, which is energy healing, which I love beyond words. I am so passionate about Reiki and crystals. And I ended up learning hypnosis, past life regression. I've met some incredible people. I have heard unbelievable experiences that I have helped facilitate. And I've had amazing experiences of my own. So although I started out very rocky, don't we all? We all have a struggle. We all have a story. We've all been through trauma. Yes. And we have to get through it and go through it in order to get to the other side. But I am so thankful because it showed me my purpose in life, my true purpose, which is to help other people, to share my experiences, my knowledge, and to inspire, to help heal, to help share, and to help lift the vibration in this world, which we need so desperately right now. So I hope this wasn't too long. I hope this wasn't a rant and all over the place, but I hope that it gives you some background on me and where I'm coming from. And I hope that you enjoy this channel. I am going to be sharing more meditations, some hypnotic meditations, some how-to videos, all around spirituality, metaphysics, healing, crystals, energy, and so much more. So if you have any suggestions or any questions, any ideas for videos, anything at all, I really want to hear from you. So please leave a comment down below, and please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again. Thank you for watching.